The December 7th, 2022 meeting of the Board of Estimates is now called to order. The board continues to meet in this hybrid format. For those of you live here, please ensure that your phones are, if not turned off, at least silenced. The board is completely vaccinated as well as boosted, so we ask that everyone wear a mask. If you don't have a mask, one can be provided to you in the back of the room. When you come to speak, if you're going to speak, you are allowed to remove your mask at the appropriate time, in which is time for you to speak. At this time, I'll ask our amazing clerk, Ms. Celeste Amato, for any corrections, additions, or noted abstentions to today's agenda. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, everyone. We have a few items to share this morning. First of all, in the absence of Comptroller Bill Henry, Deputy Comptroller Erica McClammy will be sitting in and voting on his behalf this morning. We have the following changes to note for the agenda. On page number 125, Department of Transportation currently reads Amendment number 1 to the MOU. Please delete and insert Memorandum of Understanding. We also have one walk-on item this morning, which I will read into the agenda in case you were worried you wouldn't get to hear me read something this morning. Department of Human Resources, employment contract for Michael Como. And that memo reads as follows. This is the processing of an employment contract. Baltimore City Law Department has requested approval of an employment contract for Michael Como for 1 year beginning the date of Board of Estimates approval at a rate of $59.45 per hour for 925 hours, not to exceed $55,000. Mr. Como will work as a contract services specialist 2. The position will assist the law department by preparing and trying cases on behalf of Baltimore City before the Workers' Compensation Commission in the circuit court and/or other appropriate jurisdictions, performing legal research and rendering legal opinions on questions that are raised in connection with that work, draft and prepare various legal documents, including exhibits and witness testimony in the form of affidavits, advise and inform superiors on the status of hearings, trial proceedings, and any obstacles and solutions to successful outcomes, and negotiate settlements on behalf of the city. The Department of Human Resources recommends granting this employment contract, and as usual, should the board hear this item this morning, it will be part of the non-routine agenda, unless the board affirmatively moves it to routine. We have no protests to note this morning. We have the following deferrals and withdrawals. On page 69, item number 45, personnel, adjust the salary of the following classifications effective January 1, 2023. This item is being deferred at the request of the council president to January 11th, 2023. On page 145, item number 10, Bureau of Procurement, solicitation number 08000, Terra Track Environment Management Software. This item is being withdrawn at the request of the agency, City Bureau of Procurement. Page number 250, Baltimore City Sheriff's Office, Cooperative Reimbursement Agreement. This item is being withdrawn at the request of the Sheriff's Office. Page 63 through 66, items number 36 through 42, Personnel, State's Attorney's Office. There are a series of items being deferred, and they read as follow. There are several position abolishments and reclassifications, and contracts for Maria Keith, Kedrick Scribner, Sharon Alston, Kevin Dunton, Robert Bittinger, and Yolanda Robinson. Again, these items, number 36 through 42, Personnel, State's Attorney's Office, are being deferred this morning at the request of the mayor. They will be deferred until January 18th, 2023. Again, our walk-on item this morning will appear on the non-routine agenda. And we have the following abstentions to note on behalf of the board. The Honorable Mayor Brandon Scott is abstaining on page 69, item number 45, personnel adjustment salary of the following classifications listed on the memo. On page 97, Health Department agreement with Johns Hopkins University. On page 99, Health Department agreement with Johns Hopkins University. On behalf of the Honorable President Nick Mosby, we have the following abstentions on page 63 through 66, items number 36 through 42, Personnel, State's Attorney's Office. Page number 162, Bureau of Procurement, payment of outstanding invoices. I'm going to share the following also no votes being registered for the Honorable President Nick Mosby. Those are as follows on page 197 through 198, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 199 through 200, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 201 through 202, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 203 through 204, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 205 through 206, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 207 through 208, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 209 through 210, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 211 through 212, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 213 through 214, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 215 through 216, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 217 through 218, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 219 through 220, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 221 through 222, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. Page 223 through 224, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Grant Agreement. And page 225 through 226, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs Interagency Agreement. Those items will all be noted as nay votes from the council president this morning. On behalf of Deputy Comptroller Erica McClammy, we have the following abstentions to note. Page 266 through 267, Health Department travel request. Page 268, Department of Public Works retroactive expenditure of funds. Page 269, Mayor's Office travel request. Page 270 through 271, Department of Recreation and Parks travel request. And page 272, Fire Department travel reimbursement. On behalf of the City Solicitor, Jim Shea, we have no abstentions this morning. And on behalf of Director of Public Works, Jason Mitchell, we have no abstentions to note. And that concludes my changes for this morning, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. At this time, I'll call for a motion to approve the opening statement.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The opening statement is now adopted. I now direct the board's attention to a memorandum from my office dated December the 5th, 2022, identifying matters to be considered as routine agenda items, together with any corrections, additions, abstentions, or no votes that have been noted by our amazing clerk. At this point, I'll entertain a motion to approve all the items contained in the routine agenda.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The routine agenda has now been adopted. On to our first item on the non-routine agenda. It can be found on page 1, Department of Audits, the audits report. The audits are an annual comprehensive financial report, year ending June 30th, 2021, and a single audit together with the reports of the independent public accountants for the year ending in June 30th, 2021. The board is requested to note receipt of the audit report. At this time, I would like to turn the floor over to Mr. Auditor Josh Pash and his team to walk us through their audit. Mr. Pash, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Comptroller, and honorable members of the board. My name is Josh Pash, and I'm the City Auditor. We are here to present the ACFR and the single audit, and I would like to invite SB and Company to present the fiscal year 21 ACFR, single audit, and other reports.
Thank you, Josh. Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Mr. President, honored members of the board. My name is Bill Seymour. I'm the engagement partner with SB and Company, and this represents a summary of our required communications under generally accepted auditing standards. I'm going to walk through a presentation at a fairly high level. Please stop me with any questions that you may have. Starting on slide 4 is our scope of services. We were engaged to perform and did perform an audit of the June 30, 21 financial statements for the city, as well as the 4 enterprise funds, being the Water Utility Fund, Wastewater Utility Fund, Stormwater Utility Fund, and Parking Facilities Fund. Those are separately issued, if you will, taken from the city's complete set of financial statements and issued for debt purposes. We've also performed a uniform grant guidance single audit, and along with that, worked with management to complete the data collection form that goes along with that. We did not audit and relied upon the opinions of other auditors for the pension trust funds, the Baltimore City Public School System, as well as the Baltimore Hotel Corporation. On slide 6, summary of our results, we've issued an unmodified, or if you will, clean opinion on the financial statements. That opinion says that the financial statements as presented by management are reasonably free of material misstatement. We issued a qualified opinion on 7 out of 19 programs that were tested as part of the Uniform Grant Guidance Single Audit. We discovered no instances of fraud. I would caution our audit is not a fraud audit. That would be different in scope. However, professional standards require that we do maintain a healthy skepticism to look for fraud in what it is that we test, ask questions, and the like, and we did not note any instances from those procedures. We received the full cooperation from management. We issued material weaknesses and significant deficiencies in internal controls, and I'll walk through those at a high level in a moment, as well as certain recommendations that were there. On slide 7, we have a listing of the areas in which we had issued material weaknesses over certain areas as they underlie the internal controls over financial reporting, and those related to grant accounting, financial reporting, payroll, water and wastewater billing, fixed assets accounting, as well as information technology security. We have presented those findings to management. Management has responded and is working to address those items. On the single audit, as I mentioned, we have issued a qualified opinion as well as have findings. We have findings, and I'm on slide 8, generally in 4 areas across the different items. One related to allowable costs, related to lack of documentation of payroll that was within the old system, the new system Workday. We've performed limited testing and did not have findings there. Subrecipient monitoring, where the city grants money to a separate grant agent or another organization is required to perform certain monitoring. We had lack of documentation there, and then cash management and period of performance. On slide 9 lists all of the findings that we had as a result of the single audit. Not all of those findings rose to be material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. However, we are required to report those. On slide 11, through the remaining of our presentation, goes through our specific required communications. Those communications are our opportunity, our responsibility to talk to you about kind of what is underneath the hood of the audit. Have we had disagreements with management? Have management selected ultra-aggressive or ultra-conservative accounting policies? Had there been areas that lacked authoritative guidance? If you will, if there's anything that was really negative to report. I've kind of already highlighted the issues that were identified as part of the audit. We have no other items to bring to your attention. So with that, I'll take any questions. I want to thank management. I want to thank Josh and his team for their assistance in performance of the audit, and I'll stop there.
Thank you so much for your presentation. At this point, are there any questions or concerns from members of the board with the audit team? Madam Deputy Comptroller, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm actually have a question on some of the findings.
Sure.
And the summary of findings on page 7 of SB and Company's presentation, the first material weakness listed at the top of the page is a lack of formal procedures and accountability that lead to the city not being able to establish accurate balances of grant accounts receivable and grant deferred revenue accounts. Mr. President, this board is well aware of the challenges that city agencies have with grants management. Can someone from the administration respond to this finding, tell the board what's being done to address it, and in particular, update the board on the ongoing efforts to centralize and improve grants management practices citywide?
So I think we're gonna have the CFO or someone from his team. He's gonna come and present. If you could, I guess if you could directly address Deputy Comptroller's question, and then whatever presentation or feedback you would like to provide to the board, the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Good morning, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Comptroller, members of the board. Deputy Comptroller, to address your question head on, I'll just start by thanking you for this report, for the findings. I will note that the corrective actions recommended here are at top priority for the Department of Finance. As you know, we are currently engaged in implementation of the Workday system, which will provide one transparent system of record, transitioning data from standalone systems and spreadsheets into one. We're in phase 2 right now, and that includes a transition of separate systems that include procurement, general ledger, accounts payable, supplier accounts, and banking. And all of this flows into our work to strengthen controls, including controls over grant management. So I will pass it off to a Deputy CFO, Ioana Orsides, to come up and take you through some of the details.
Well, I'll see.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Council President, Mayor Scott, Deputy Comptroller, honorable members of the board. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. I'd like to keep it at a high level. You will see in the corrective action plans additional detail, but I do want to talk about some of the things that are progress. And clearly the question goes to the work that we need to still continue to do. So one, it has improved. So let me talk about what has improved. As noted, Workday is a phased implementation. So this audit actually straddled 2 periods, right? One under the old payroll system and HRIS, Human Resources Information System, and one under the new system, Workday. And what you see consistently on the findings related to payroll is that as we entered the new system in January 2021, there was improvement. So the answer is not solely Workday. It's not solely the systems, but we can see that having one reliable system of record does lead to improvements. So let's talk a little about the audit findings. Right, you're going to see findings in there related to communication challenges, difficulty sharing data, reporting differences between what a department or agency was reporting and what finance ultimately reported, and difficulty in reconciling these. The difference now is that with Workday Go Live of phase 2, which includes our procurement, our banking and settlement, our accounts payable, I'm forgetting a few, you're going to see that we now have one shared transparent system. Before, if someone called and asked me about the status of an invoice, I had to check on average at least 2 or 3 systems, some of which I couldn't run a report from. It was simply too complex. I couldn't pull up the related documentation. With Workday, I can do that, and every end user can do that. Suppliers can do that when they're checking on the status of their invoice. And importantly, our grant subrecipients will be able to do some of this. So the Workday implementation environment is also about what occurs outside of the system, and that's really key. I've been in the city for a while now. I can tell you with Workday implementation, the change is that because it's one system, everyone is talking to everyone. We are consistently meeting on a weekly basis as agency fiscal officers and staff citywide. That was unheard of pre-Workday, frankly. And that is really the commitment, and it's the commitment of Mayor Scott, but also our partners in the Comptroller's Office and the City Council, that work must continue to improve, and it will. And that goes not only from the leadership, but down to the end users of the system. I really have to say, to our credit as a city, we went through COVID and a massive implementation that frankly I don't think any other jurisdiction in the country undertook, which is changing all of our systems at once during a very challenging period, both operationally and staffing-wise. So what needs to continue to improve? Clearly, subrecipient monitoring. And some of that is detailed work on the agency level. Some of that is improving internal controls, such as internal controls over the period of performance, so that we're not charging grants outside of the period allowed. But here's the great thing. This continued stabilization of phase 2, we expect the capabilities to positively impact those items. So, one chart of accounts throughout the city. There aren't different account numbers used by different agencies. Spreadsheets. It's not outside the spreadsheet, outside the system, on the spreadsheet, excuse me. It's real-time sync data. An agency can see their actual spending. It's not an overnight upload. So if an invoice is approved, I can immediately see that it's been approved. If a payment is issued, we can immediately see that a payment is issued. We can also run reporting on that we were not able to before. Check budget controls, internal controls in the system on operating, on grants, on capital that make you pause and look and review if you're going outside the budget. Audit trail, business processes, you can see what is entered, when, do reporting, and see the documentation associated with that. So you're going to see in some of the grant findings, documentation of the grant or the expenditures was not available. In Workday, we're able to attach and include that documentation. And there are also internal controls set up so that for certain business processes, you simply cannot proceed unless you have attached documentation, which reminds the user both to attach the documentation, but reminds the approver, you need to look at that documentation before you approve. Work still to be done, clearly, not just Workday, right? So we're looking at the existing grants policies. We have about 4 drafts related to grant award policy, grant documentation, grant closeout, and a newly created policy on subrecipient monitoring. Those are under final review. Those are a product of our grants management office and our agency stakeholders that will end up ultimately being presented to the Board of Estimates for your review in line with the standard administrative manual policy. And I hope that I've answered some of the questions or some of the intention of your question, Deputy Comptroller, but I'm happy to answer anything additional.
Thank you so much. At this time, I'll turn the floor back over to Deputy Comptroller.
Thank you. That did answer my question on grants management, but I do have a couple other questions, at least one other. On pages, throughout the summary on pages 7 and 8, there are findings that focus on the lack of records and documentation such as payroll, timekeeping function on page 7, and the allowable cost finding at the top of page 8. Can you also give the board some insight on whether Workday will address those findings as well, or how it will address those findings as well?
So as relates to the payroll findings, I think you're going to find those are in the prior period in the prior system. So that was a system that was, it was not standardized across the city. There were paper records. In some cases, you entered it in paper. In some cases, you emailed your time. It was sent to a person. That person did data entry, but did not do authorization and approval of the time. With, I should note that with phase 2 launching, so right, tying in the financial accounting system of record in with the payroll system now, because we launched payroll first, we didn't have that. We now have the ability to charge 2 grants and charge portions of a individual's payroll to the appropriate grant. We expect that also to be an enhancement. And I believe there was a second part of your question, which I did not answer.
Allowable costs?
Allowable costs. So that is also expected to improve. And Deputy Julie Floyd might have some more additional detail to that.
So, good morning. Right now with grants, when you set up a grant, you can charge an invoice to a grant, and it's treated as either recoverable or non-recoverable. It's compared to a grant budget, and if that cost exceeds the grant budget, someone has to approve the override of that budget overrun. So unlike Dynamics, where it wouldn't track what the recoverable costs were, all the costs, whether or not they were recovered for a grant or not, went into the grant. In Workday, there is a distinguishment between those two.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Madam Comptroller. At this point, are there any additional questions or concerns from other members of the board? Thank you so much. Hearing and seeing none, we will list this report as noted. The next item on the non-routine agenda can be found on pages 76 and 77, the Law Department Settlement Agreement and Release. The request is to approve a settlement agreement and release of a lawsuit filed by Mr. Robert Sykes versus the Mayor and City Council of Baltimore. Mr. Sykes was struck by a marked police vehicle on July 13th, 2020. On behalf of the Law Department, we have Deputy Solicitor, Ms. Ebony Thompson. At this time, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, Madam Deputy Comptroller, so good to see you, and honorable members of the board. Ebony Thompson, Deputy City Solicitor. The Law Department respectfully requests authorization to approve the settlement of a litigation action filed by Robert Sykes versus Mayor and City Council of Baltimore. The claims arise out of plaintiffs' allegations that on or about July 13th, 2020, at approximately 7:44 p.m., plaintiff Sykes was a front seat passenger in a BMW vehicle driven by Derek Hill. The vehicle in which Sykes was in was traveling southbound on Druid Hill Avenue and was struck by the marked police vehicle driven by Officer Deliria Rojas. The driver of the police vehicle was traveling westbound on Robert Street and made a left turn southbound onto Druid Hill Avenue, at which point the officer struck the Sykes vehicle. The collision rotated the Sykes vehicle counterclockwise, and the Sykes vehicle subsequently struck another vehicle which was parked and unoccupied. The unoccupied vehicle then struck another vehicle that was occupied. Officer Rojas had a stop sign and was otherwise required to yield to the driver of the Sykes vehicle. As a result of the accident, the plaintiff suffered a fracture of the temporal bone, kidney laceration of the right elbow, flank pain, and persistent drainage from his left ear. At present, Mr. Sykes is claiming permanent hearing loss, ongoing headaches, and an inability to work because of his knee and shoulder pain. There are no defenses to liability. The officer was at fault for causing the accident. The other driver did not have a stop sign or a traffic light controlling his vehicle's progression along Druid Hill Avenue. The accident was so severe that the jaws of life had to be used to remove the occupants from the car, and after the collision, passenger Sykes was unconscious for several minutes. In order to resolve this litigation economically and to avoid the expense, time, and uncertainties of further protracted litigation, the parties have agreed to offer plaintiff payment in the amount of $75,000 for complete settlement of the case, including attorney's fees. In return, plaintiffs have agreed to dismiss the action filed against the city and its employees, agents, and representatives. Based on a review by the Settlement Committee of the Law Department of the legal and factual issues specific to this particular claim, a recommendation to the Board of Estimates is made to approve the settlement of this claim in order to avoid a potential adverse jury verdict. I will note before I take questions from the board that we did follow up with the agency, with the police department, to inquire about disciplinary action for this police officer. And this officer involved in the case was charged with failure to yield the right-of-way, which is a Category D offense under the disciplinary matrix. The monetary fine punishment for a Category D violation is $1,000 in a driver refreshing training course. The hearing commander could add or reduce to this discipline. The officer requested a trial board rather than accept the recommended discipline after he was served in February of 2021. Because of COVID, all hearing boards were postponed at that time, and the hearing is upcoming and is one of the cases to be scheduled in the upcoming weeks and months, within the month. And at this time, I'll open it up for the board to take any questions that you may have, sir.
Thank you, Deputy Solicitor. At this time, are there any questions or concerns from members of the board? Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This item is approved. The next item on the non-routine agenda can be found on pages 78 and 79, Law Department Settlement Agreement and Release. The request is to approve a settlement agreement and release of the lawsuit filed by Zain Abdullah and Donnell Burgess against the Baltimore Police Department and 3 BPD officers and 2 former BPD majors. Once again, we have an amazing Deputy Solicitor here to walk us through this item. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Department of Law respectfully requests authorization to approve the settlement of a lawsuit in the amount of $750,000 brought by Zain Abdullah and Donnell Burgess against the Baltimore Police Department, 3 BPD officers, and 2 former BPD majors. Plaintiffs allege numerous federal and state claims against BPD and the officer defendants. On the evening of January 17th, 2020, Officer Welton Simpson arrived at a convenience store in Baltimore City to conduct a business check. Upon attempting to gain entry, he encountered a group of several adult males, including plaintiffs Abdullah and Burgess. Officer Simpson approached the door of the store where Plaintiff Abdullah was standing. While there was sufficient space for Simpson to enter the store without making contact with Abdullah, Simpson intentionally bumped Abdullah with his shoulder, prompting a verbal argument which led to a physical struggle between Simpson and Abdullah on the ground. During the struggle, while Simpson was attempting to detain Abdullah, several bystanders, including Plaintiff Burgess, attempted to intervene and pull Simpson off of Abdullah. Cell phone video of the physical altercation was posted on social media, where other bystanders were seen kicking Officer Simpson. Numerous other officers then responded to the scene and arrested Abdullah. Burgess was arrested several days later. Following the incident, Officer Simpson told investigators that he arrived at the store to attempt to clear people from the store, and that Abdullah would not move out of his way, and that Abdullah spit in the officer's face and pushed him, which led to the ensuing physical struggle and Abdullah's arrest. Officer Simpson also told initial investigators that his body-worn camera was not activated at the time of the incident. However, Simpson was unaware that his body-worn camera was still recording from an earlier incident and captured the initial interaction between Simpson and Abdullah, which clearly showed that Simpson's rendition of the incident was not entirely truthful. While a use of force investigation was conducted and concluded that Simpson's use of force was justified based on a review of the social media videos and the surveillance video from the store, it did not include a review of Simpson's body-worn camera footage. The body-worn camera footage was not reviewed initially, A, because Simpson believed it was not activated and the incident itself had been classified as a level 1 use of force, for which body-worn camera footage is not required to be reviewed. Based on Officer Simpson's representation of the facts leading up to the physical altercation, both plaintiffs were arrested and charged with numerous crimes, including second-degree assault on a law enforcement officer and resisting arrest. Both plaintiffs were held in pretrial detainment pending trial, and approximately 6 months later, the state's attorney's office dismissed all charges against the plaintiffs, stating that Simpson had misrepresented the facts that led to plaintiff's arrest. And as a result of these events, the city grand jury issued a 2-count indictment against Simpson for false statement and misconduct in office. In September of 2021, following a bench trial, Officer Simpson was convicted on both counts and was sentenced to suspended sentences and unsupervised probation. Simpson is currently appealing those convictions. Based on a review by the Settlement Committee of the Law Department, a recommendation to settle is made to the Board of Estimates to approve the settlement of this case to avoid a potential adverse jury verdict. The Law Department believes this settlement is in the best interest of the city, as the original demand was $7 million, and our attorneys negotiated a settlement of $750,000, which is $375,000 for each plaintiff. I will, before opening it up for questions, address the glaring questions on this matter. Important to the situation is that Sergeant Simpson was convicted on November 16th, 2021, which was before the law changed on July 2nd, 2022 with regard to Maryland Public Safety Article 3-107. And under the prior law, because Simpson was convicted of only misdemeanors and not a felony, BPD was not able to immediately terminate him following the conviction. After the new law went into effect, any officer convicted of a felony shall be terminated. That shall terminate becomes a may terminate if the officer gets a PBJ for a felony or is convicted of a misdemeanor committed while performing his police duties, or of second-degree assault or any misdemeanor involving dishonesty, fraud, theft, or misrepresentation. And the second glaring question is, now that the law has changed, Simpson's case could go to a trial board before the conclusion of his appeal. However, due to judicial economy and efficiency, when an officer has a final conviction, the trial board requires only an admission of the true test copy of the conviction. Without that final conviction, however, the trial board will require a full hearing, including presentation of all the evidence and witness testimony, essentially relitigating that case all over again. There were also timing issues involved in Sergeant Simpson's case, which added to the delays. For various reasons, although the PIB opened its investigation on July 2020, when Simpson was indicted, PIB did not finalize and charge Simpson's administrative case until 11/3/2022, and he was not served with the charging document until 11/30 of 2022. And that's because the original detective and their replacement both left PIB prior to the conclusion of the case, and a third detective had to finalize that investigation. And so it seems mainly due to the personnel changes and missing parts of this investigation, which were not resolved until October, that accounts for these delays. In other words, they don't usually wait for the appellate process to play out. Because we know that's an ongoing question. On to the issue that I know that Mr. President is very interested in, and I apologize for not having it on our last time that we encountered each other on the pension issue, sir. I did do research on this one, and as for the pension, it seems that Officer Simpson is already eligible based on his service time for pension. His BPD hire date was 2001, so he has 21 years of service. Additionally, he served 6 years in the United States Marine Corps before joining BPD, and the military time is added to that calculation. Therefore, he has already passed his 25-year mark and eligible for a pension. At this time, I will take any questions that this board may have.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Solicitor. At this time, are there any additional questions or concerns from members of the board?
You have a question?
Yeah, at this time, I'll turn it over to Deputy Comptroller.
Okay. Thank you. You actually explained one question in reference to the body cam footage. I know the law department did meet the controller's office on the item, and one aspect that came to light was the body cam, and you explained the reason that it was not reviewed. Has the incident prompted the police department to consider changing its policy on reviewing body cam footage for level 1 complaints?
At the time, the policy still remains the same, and just to distinguish level 1 from level 2, level 3, level 1 is where there is no medical attention that was necessary. There was use of force, and they will conduct the use of force investigation. However, level 2 is if Abdullah in this case, had asked for medical attention, then the body-worn camera footage would automatically be reviewed. That's a level 2, level 3. However, initially on the scene, the officer thought that the body-worn camera footage was not available because it wasn't activated. However, they did turn that over. He updated it once they found out that it was available, and that's when it was turned over to the state's attorney's office, ma'am. But right now, the policy still stands.
Yes, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Deputy Comptroller, you okay?
Yeah, I don't
Any
have any
additional?
more questions.
All right, thank you. Any additional questions or concerns from other members of the board? Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This item is approved. The next item on the non-routine agenda can be found on pages, thank you, Madam Deputy Solicitor, can be found on pages 243 through 249, Department of Public Works. This memorandum is to provide a status report on DPW's biennial performance audit for fiscal years ending June 30th, 2020 and 2019. On behalf of the Department of Audits, you're gonna, is,
Public Works.
Yeah, is Pash here?
He's gone.
All right, we'll take you at this time.
Where did he go?
Yeah, because it's, I guess we have the auditor here to provide any context associated with the original report, but really this is just a check-in, somewhat of a status. So you are actually the subject matter expert of what we're talking about here today. So at this time, Department of Public Works, please present. Are you here for the? Are you here in replace of Auditor
No,
Bosch?
sir, but
No.
I can reach out to Mr. Bosch. I think that this is the for the last year audit.
Correct.
I'm
sorry.
Usually it is done by
I'm
the
sorry, ma'am.
agency.
I'm sorry, before you continue, could you pronounce your name and your title?
Good morning, Mr. President and honorable members of the Board of Estimates. My name is Dandy Mao, Deputy City Auditor. I think that we are not on the agenda for this particular item because this is the implementation status usually briefed by the agency. But I'll be happy to reach out to Mr. Bosch if needed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, honorable board members. Richard Linna, Deputy Director of Department of Public Works. I just wanted to thank you all for this opportunity to present on our performance audit from 2021 and the progress the team has made since the audit was issued. The performance audit focused on formal written procedures for DPW's water billing processes and ways to maximize revenue. With me today is members of our leadership team, and I'll be introducing our Chief Business Strategy Officer, Latoya Curtis, who will walk through the presentation here shortly. First, I just wanted to thank DPW's the staff and the leadership team, their efforts over the past year in addressing operations and customer service when it relates to our water billing processes. Because of their hard work and dedication, DPW successfully instituted the lowest annual rate increases in over the past 20 years. And so that's an incredible achievement for this team, and I just wanted to thank them for all of their work over the past year in getting that instituted. So with that, first I'll turn it over to our Chief Business Strategy Officer, Latoya Curtis, who will walk through the performance audit and talk about the progress they've made so far.
Thank you.
Good morning, President, Mayor Scott, and esteemed members of the board. The first finding was DPW Information Technology Division needs to document the new rate setting and testing processes for continuity. The recommendation was to implement formal policies and procedures for the requirement of new rate setting and testing processes for the city and the county accounts. So far for this department, they have implemented a SOP for implementing the rate increases. They have also trained their staff on the process and have implemented the new rate setting process with the FY 22 and 23 rate setting increases. The second finding was DPW Meter Shop needs to develop policies and procedures for continuity. The recommendation was to establish formal policies and procedures for water meter reading processes for the city and county accounts, assess the value of proactive water meter calibration and replacement, and establish and implement processes and controls for water meter calibration and replacement, then document those processes formally in policies and procedures. This department has developed or identified 24 SOPs to help with those recommendations. 4 have been developed and the other 20 are in draft form waiting for approval. We are proactively investigating large meters and also completing repairs on the large meters. We have made improvements to CityWorks, which is CMMS, to streamline our work orders. We have trained our staff on mobile technology. They're using tablets on their day-to-day operations, being able to complete their tasks in the field, and we are able to monitor and close work orders in real time. We also have increased our billing efficiency to 99% of meter reads for all 15 billing cycles. This achievement exceeds the standard best practices. Finding 3, DPW Customer Support Service Division processes to identify exceptional water usage and unbilled city accounts need to be formally documented. The recommendation is to implement formal policies and procedures for daily reviews of exceptions of the city accounts. Process improvements, we have implemented a 45-day report process which looks at unbilled accounts that have been unbilled for 45 days. And since October of 2022, we have increased our unbilled revenue by $8.2 million. With continued monitoring, we have also been able, since April 2021, we have been able to reduce that percentage down to 0.8%. SOPs. We have developed the SOP to review billing exceptions, and that was finalized in November of 2022. And each week we meet as a group. We have a adjustments and escalations team that reviews all adjustments and investigates special accounts. This weekly format helps us process and has oversight over adjustments that are applied to constituents' accounts. Finding number 4, DPW Customer Support and Service Division needs to improve policies, procedures, and practices for tracking and monitoring of customer billing complaints for both city and county accounts. The recommendation is to establish and implement formal policies and procedures for tracking, monitoring, and periodic evaluation of the benchmarks of the SLA of the customer billing complaints for the city and county accounts. And finding 4, the recommendation is the monitoring activities to demonstrate DPW is following the established policies and procedures, and 2, the change if the benchmarks of the SLA are modified and include the benchmarks of the SLA in the DPW systems to efficiently monitor customer billing complaints. We have identified 53 SOPs. We have identified 91 SOPs. 53 have been completed. The remaining are in draft form waiting for approval. We have also developed a data dashboard to look at trends, and we'll be instituting a performance metric in the beginning of 2023. As far as technology, we have implemented our JITBIT system, which is a ticketing email system that monitors any type of billing inquiries, and we're able to monitor the work that's being completed. Also, we have developed this dashboard that we can look at trends of things that are being completed, and also it can track items that we need to implement in our refresher training that takes place once a year. As far as accomplishments, we have 30+ process improvement projects that have been implemented, and we have had dramatic increases in our case closures, our answering of our phones, billing disputes, and account and payment plan setups. And the 5th finding, the city does not take proactive measures to increase water revenue collections. And the recommendation is to quantify amounts, customers, and months that water bills have not been paid or paid late, and share these statistics with the city's leadership team to consider the ways to maximize revenue collection efficiency. DPW has partnered with PromisePay to create a more efficient and customer-friendly payment plan options. PromisePay will be launching in early 2023. DPW also has a robust reporting on our accounts receivables and is prepared to create a comprehensive revenue management process. And this process would include documented customer progress life cycle. It would also include prospective delinquency actions, staffing models for sustainable progress, and key performance indicators and metrics to measure the success of the programs. At this time, I would love to thank the CSSD and Meter Shop staff for our accomplishments in this short time. And in conclusion, I will walk you through some of the accomplishments that the team has achieved. We have eliminated over 14,000 email backlog requests. We have visited over 10,000 real properties for investigations. We have completed 6,300 Baltimore County escalation work orders. We have also completed 4,600 case management cases. We have also reduced our call center response time from 20 minutes down to 2.5 minutes. We have reduced our average time to close cases from 25 days down to 5 days. We have reduced our average time to set up new accounts from 73 days down to 20 days. We have also reduced our average time to resolve billing disputes from 48 days down to 22 days. And we have reduced our average time to get a payment plan implemented from 70 days down to 10 days. Some other accomplishments that the team has achieved are the lowest rate increase since 1998. We have also increased our meter reads to 99%, which again is above the industry best practice. Other enhancements that we've made to our process, we have implemented the JIT-BIT process, which I mentioned earlier. We have also implemented a new kiosk system in our walk-in center, which is a ticketing system, and it allows us to track the traffic coming in and be able to pull reports based off people's visits. We have updated our customer service self-portal. We have implemented 30-plus process improvement projects. We have applied more than $1.3 million in Water for All program discounts. We are going paperless in 2023, and we have developed dashboards to help us track the work of our staff and our customer interactions. At this time, do you guys have any questions? The team and I are here to answer questions about the report out.
Thank you so much. At this time, I'll turn the floor over to Mayor Scott.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank the entire team at DPW for this very significant process that you guys have made. I just have two quick questions. One, just because I know, because you just said it, everyone's going to ask, if older adults and other folks still want to get a paper bill, they'll still be able to do that, correct?
Correct, yes.
Great.
They would
Just
sign
wanted-
up for, if you want paperless billing, you sign
Just
up
get
for it.
that out the way before anyone says it. I know the council president had the same thought in his head. Second question, if we can bring the presentation back up. Sorry about that. And to the last, that one, yes. Can you walk us through the time frame that you guys were able to achieve these things, like the call response time going from 20 minutes to 2, the average days of going from 25 to 5 on closing cases, 73 to 20 days. What time frame did this, when I think it's excellent work, was that achieved in?
We started this, Director Mitchell came on in May of 2021, and we started putting eyes on it. But in August of 2021 is when we started putting things in place. So I would say from August until now is when the whole process kind of took place.
And Director, I know you're on the board, but can you walk us through what kind of things you put in place to actually have this happen?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Scott. I'm going to try to give the quick version, not the long version, but the first thing we did with our water system and it was most critical is just begin to run reports and look at the data. And what we found out when we started the reports, you see in the first column there under elimination, we saw we had 14,000 emails, and they were outstanding for quite some time. We wanted to drive that email down to around 800, and we wanted to be able to resolve email complaints within 3 business days. So we pretty much put a team together, and their sole job was, number one, to verify that we were able to close out those emails and really push it down. And so it was the data that showed us that we had 14,000 emails, 10,000 property investigations. When I walked in, we knew about the 6,300 work orders that was remaining with the county, and we had 4,600 cases. So what you've heard, and what you probably have heard through some of your constituents, was it's taking too long to get answers. We wanted to resolve that very quickly, and we want to provide excellent customer service. So we started looking at the data at 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock every single morning, Monday through Friday, for the last 16 months. And it's something that we do today. I actually missed a meeting because I'm here at the Board of Estimates. The other piece was we wanted to drive through solutions. Where do we want to be? So right now we're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds in answering the phone. Our goal by 3 months is to get it under a minute. We want to drive that. So what have we done? Well, LaToya, as our Chief Curtis, have hired 4 staff. They're able to now pick up 150 new phone calls per day, which drive down our hold time. So it was critical that we looked at our staffing and we begin to maneuver our staffing based upon their knowledge, but also based upon the need. And so we adjusted our entire staffing team. Our third critical element was to move our meter shop from walking with 3 pieces of paper and closing out work orders. And I think in the last 6 months, we moved to what we call a paperless project. Our process are all of our meter techs, they do not go out in the field any longer with paper. They do everything via a tablet, and they take pictures of everything. So number one, that we can record the event and our maintenance efforts that we did in the field. But number two, so that we can record the process in real time and that we can solve our customers' complaints quicker, because that data is going real time into our billing system. But I think the last and most critical piece is that we can resolve it faster, which helps our revenue. The longer a meter is down, the more revenue we lose, potentially the higher the rates. We wanted to drive down the rates, so we had to drive down the time that our meter techs took to fix the meter. But in addition to that, I think the critical piece is now moving into the 24th century, being one of the leaders, 21st century being a leader in this water space. So what you see in the last column, and I think Chief Curtis takes a lot of the credit for this, is we adjusted our billing process, our adjustment process. What we heard from our residents, especially day one, is I had a leak and the city hasn't adjusted it. So we adjusted our leak program to give, number one, our clients more time to fix that leak, but two, so that when they do fix it, their leak goes back down to the average bill that they would have prior to a leak, so that they wouldn't have $500-600 bills. That's not sustainable, so that we can get that bill back, but also get that leak fixed. So that was really, really critical. The implementing of JIT-BIT, staffing training, our staff is going through numerous training for the last year. I think our average training for our staff is about 50 hours of staff training so that they can pick up the phone and do things better. But I think that one of the most prevalent things that we do is we understand that water is expensive. And I think, Mayor Scott, this is one of the things that you actually put in my offer letter, is that I want water for all rolled out, and I want it rolled out as fast as possible. And I think one of the things that the team did was roll out that affordability program that you charged us with, Mayor. But more importantly, now we're almost seeing $1.5 million in water for all discounts in just a short time that has been active. And I think that's one of the key accomplishments for the team, not just responsive, but being able to meet the needs of our customers was number one. Our key goal, and you know this, Mayor, when we say 1, 2, 3, we say best in class. And our best in class is providing better and more efficient customer service. And that's been it. Our staff is now looking at it from a customer standpoint and not just from a staffing standpoint. And that's when our ship began to sail. And again, many of these changes was done in about a year. So it was a tremendous effort in being able to turn that around, Mayor Scott.
Thank you, Mrs. Director. Thank you very much. I think that he's not here today, but I think that qualifies as a Comptroller Henry short answer. But we love you for the work. And just for the record, for everyone watching, when you look at that thing about the water rate increase being the lowest since 1998, depending on the time of year that the BOE approved it, I was either an 8th grader at Roland Park or a 9th grader at Mervo. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, are there any additional questions or concerns? Madam Deputy Comptroller, the floor is yours.
Sure. I do have a couple of questions, but I do want to start off by commending the Department of Public Works for a thorough update. Significant progress has been made on the customer service indicators on pages 243 and 244. In addition, it's a positive report. Many of the SOPs have been completed that address audit findings ahead of schedule and appear on track to complete, and DPW appears on track to complete all of them by the end of December. And we are all especially looking forward to the rollout of the paperless billing system for water bills in January. But I do have a couple of questions. In reference to recommendation 3, on the bottom of page 246, and the top of page 247, DPW mentions that by using a 45-day report for accounts that have not been billed, they've reduced the outstanding balance of uncollected water, I believe, by $3.9 million in 1 month. Do we have a rough idea, or can you give a rough idea of the current amount of uncollected balances?
I do not, but I don't know if our CFO has that information readily available. If not, I can get that to you.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have a couple other questions in reference to audit finding 5. That audit finding found that the city does not take proactive measures to increase water revenue. DPW's agency response outlines several action milestones. In particular, milestone 1, analyze delinquent accounts June 30th, 2022, and action milestone 2, review available collection options by September 30th, 2022. Are you able to let us know if I know from the report it mentioned some of the things that are coming up, if any of those milestones have been met, and if not, is there a new target date?
Good morning. Aaron Moore, Chief Financial Officer for Department of Public Works. So yes, absolutely. We're on track. We're hitting those milestones. We've been working diligently for the last, year now, if you will, and really in depth looking at the data, gathering the information. One of the things in the department, we have an extraordinary amount of data, from our top-notch system, our billing system. And now we're able to take that information and use it for very proactive measures. And as you noticed in the presentation, we'll be rolling out some programs in the future to assist with that. In addition to that, we're instituting some new policies and procedures that are now documented that we'll be training the staff on.
Okay. So is there a new target date for the analysis with delinquent accounts and revenue connection options?
That is completed.
Oh, it's completed?
Yes,
Okay.
we're ahead.
Okay. And we'll be able to share the results of that analysis?
Yeah, we can send a
Okay.
summary to you guys.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Does that wrap up your questions, Madam Deputy Comptroller? It does?
Yes.
All right. Are there any additional questions or concerns from members of the board? Hearing and seeing none, this report will be noted. Thank you again for the presentation. We do have one additional walk-on item before we conclude. I'm going to read it in real quick. It's the walk-on item for the Baltimore City Department of Law has requested approval of an employment contract for Mr. Michael Camus for 1 year, beginning date of the Board of Estimates approval at the rate of $59.45 per hour for 925 hours, not to exceed $55,000 for the Department of Human Resources. We probably do not have someone here. Oh, you're going to speak on behalf of this item?
Good morning again, Mr. President. Yes, this is a dire need that we have due to an influx of cases for our workers' compensation group. We thought that we would be able to submit this in the due course, but they have just been influx with tons of cases, and we cannot use a contract attorney. We need someone that would be able to actually go to hearings and represent us. So this is sort of a dire need and just based on caseload. And we ask that this board approve this emergency request so that we can get the personnel that we need.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Solicitor. At this time, are there any questions or concerns? Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and probably second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay.
Thank you,
The
Board.
ayes have it. This item is approved. As there's no new business before the board, we will adjourn. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Estimates will occur on Wednesday, December the 14th at 9 a.m. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Baltimore, we absolutely love you.
TV 25, we're ready to go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Baltimore City bid opening for December 7th, 2022. I am joined by my colleagues James Knighton, Jalen Sanders, and Sherelle Holly, and they will be helping us make our way through 7 openings today, or at least 7 scheduled to be opened. And also we'll be hearing on the Port Covington Bid District bid, and we'll share a little bit more about that when we get to that particular count, which will be the last item up today. We do not have any addenda to share today on future bid openings, so we will jump right into our first opening scheduled, which is Department of Transportation contract number TR12309. Contract name is replacement of bridge number BC5202 on Wilkins Avenue over Gwynns Falls. And Jim, our first bid, please.
The first bid submission is from Allen Myers, Maryland Incorporated. Total bid price, $13,247,000.
Okay, for folks in the audience, I usually read this back just digit by digit and then the whole number again. And then Jalen is reviewing the bid to make sure that what I repeat back to Jim is correct and matching up to the copy that he's reading. So that number was 13,247,000.00.
Yes.
Yes, confirm.
And Jalen has confirmed that number, and I believe this would have a bid bond.
It does. Bid bond is present.
And I usually ask if we've received any copies.
It's one copy.
Thank you. That was Allen Myers, $13,247,000. Next up.
Have to find the bidder's name. Next bid is from Concrete General Incorporated. Total bid price, $19,715,755.50.
That number was 19,715,755.50.
Yes.
And there's a bid bond?
Yes, bid bond is present.
And do we have an original and any copies?
It's one copy. One original, one copy.
Okay, so, and Jalen, you verified that number as $19,715,755.50?
Yes.
And that bid was from Concrete General Incorporated?
Yes.
Next submission is from Koko Singh, K-O-K-O-S-I-N-G, Construction Company Incorporated. Koko Singh Construction Company Incorporated. Total bid price, $16,971,364.
That number was 16,971,364.00.
Yes.
Okay. And we have a bid bond?
Yes.
And an original and one copy?
Yes.
Great. That bid was for Kokosing Construction Company, $16,971,364. Was that our final?
That is the final submission for that
That was
solicitation.
our final of three bids for contract number TR12309, replacement of bridge number BC 5202 Wilkins Avenue over Gwynns Falls. Our next solicitation today is for the Department of Bureau of Procurement, actually. Contract number B50006559, supply and delivery of uniforms.
We have one submission for that solicitation. Bidder is Howard Uniform Company. Total bid price, $1,347,802.15.
Okay, let me repeat that number back. That was 1,347,802.15.
Yes.
That was Howard Uniform Company, $1,347,802.15. And that was our only submission for that
Yes.
item?
Mhm.
The number on the page is different than the number that was just read.
Okay, 1,347,802.15.
It's 1,356,402.15. on the Howard uniform.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's a discrepancy between the number on the original and on the copy.
When this happens, we defer these items to the law department for closer review.
Yes.
So we seem to have a discrepancy between the original submission and the copy that was provided. So when we post this to the website, for those paying attention to this particular bid, you will not see the number posted today because we'll have law department review it first.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on. Next up, Bureau of Procurement, contract this is an RFQ, 000084. This is for bookbinding services.
Okay, we have no submissions for that one.
And no bids have been received for this item. We have another request for qualifications, 000088, Bureau of Procurement. The contract name is DNA Instrument Preventive Maintenance. Do we have any
No
submissions?
submissions for that, no.
And we have one more request for qualifications, Bureau of Procurement, RFQ 000083, Snow and Ice Removal Services for Enoch Pratt Free Libraries.
Yes. We have one submission for that solicitation. The bidder is ASB 2, letter A, letter S, letter B, number 2, Enterprises Incorporated, ASB 2, Enterprises Incorporated. Total bid price, $9,100.
That number was 9,100.00.
Yes.
And that was for ASB2 Enterprises, Inc., $9,100.
Yes.
And did you say that was our only
Yes.
submission?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, there's a second one.
I was just highlighting.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 2 copies and 1 original.
Original plus 2. Okay.
Okay, the second submission is from P2 Maintenance Services. Total bid price, $93,221.15.
That number was 93,221.15.
0.50.
0.50.
$93,221.50.
Okay, let me read that back to you one more time. That was 93,221.50.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, Jalen.
It's an original plus 2 copies.
Okay, that was for, I have P2 cleaning, but I believe you said P2 maintenance. They might have 2 business names.
Yeah, here it says P2
Maintenance.
Maintenance Services. Maintenance Services LLC.
Okay. That was P2 Maintenance Services LLC, and the bid amount was $93,221.50. And do we have any other bids?
Yes. The last submission is, bidder is Lorenz Incorporated.
Lorenz, L-O-R-E-N-Z.
Okay. Incorporated.
And the bid amount?
Total bid price, $199,860.75.
That number was 199,860.00.
860.75,
Oh,
75 cents.
Point. We're demonstrating today why we read these over and over again. 199,860.75.
Yes.
Great.
And it's an original with 3 copies.
That bidder was Lorenz Incorporated, $199,860.75.
Yes. That's the last submission for that solicitation.
Okay. And next up, I have Department of Public Works. The
Mhm.
contract is ER 4054. Herring Run Stream Restoration, Western Branch.
Yes. First bid submission is from Triangle Contracting, LLC. Total bid price, $6,653,363.40.
Jim, would you say that number again, please?
$6,656,363.40.
Okay, let me repeat that one back. 6,656,363.40?
Yes.
Okay.
Bid bond is included.
And do we have an original and copies?
Original and 1 copy.
Okay. That bidder was Triangle Contracting LLC, $6,656,363.40.
Have to find the bidder's name for this one. Next submission is from Environmental Quality Resources, LLC. Environmental Quality Resources. Total bid amount, $8,428,087.50.
Okay, that number was 8,428,087.50.
Yes.
Okay. And we have a bond?
We have the form for a bid bond. It does not appear to be signed, so this will have to be referred to the law department.
Okay, that will be referred to Law Department for review, and we have an original and copies?
Yes.
That bidder was Environmental Quality Resources, $8,428,087.50.
Yes. Next submission is from Civil Construction, LLC. Total bid amount, $5,524,473.50.
Okay, that number was 5,524,473.50.
Yes.
Do we have a bond?
Bid bond is included.
This is original and 1 copy.
Thanks. That bidder was Civil Construction LLC, $5,524,473.50.
Next submission is from Monumental Paving and Excavating Incorporated. Total bid amount, $7,995,000.
Sorry, I heard kids screaming in the background. Could you say that number again?
$7,995,000.
Okay, that number was 7,995,000.00.
Yes.
And there was a bid bond?
Yes, bid bond is included.
And there's 1 original and 1 copy.
Thanks, Jalen. That bidder was Monumental Paving and Excavating, $7,995,000.
Yes,
And that was our final?
it was, yes.
That was our final of 4 bids for contract number ER 4054, Herring Run Stream Restoration, Western Branch. Up next, we have a bid for Department of General Services, contract number GS19825R, Market Center Garage Repairs.
No bids received.
Well, okay. And we have no bids received. And then our last item for today is an unusual item. And I think, Jim, you were going to give me some language that I can share to explain what it is we're opening. This is not a bid. This is actually a vote. So I'm just going to share the language from the ballot so that this item makes sense to folks who are listening in. On May 18th, 2020, the City of Baltimore Ordinance 20-358 concerning the creation of the Port Covington Community Benefits District was signed into law by former Mayor Young. The purpose of this ordinance is to establish the Port Covington Community Benefits District and the Port Covington District Management Authority. There was a map enclosed for folks that received this ballot, and the ordinance will provide that the district and any expansion proposed will be approved for operation if at least 50% of the aggregate votes can cast support the creation, and if applicable, the subsequent expansion of the district. Each property proposed for inclusion will receive one vote, with each public service company having facilities in the district entitled also to one vote. So we will be reading the votes received today for establishment, or creation rather, of the Port Covington Community Benefits District. I'm going to hand that back to you, Jim, so we can put that into the record. So we will be reading the name,
Yes,
address, and
Yeah, what I'll
vote.
read is the address, the block and lot number, whether it's a vote in support or opposition, and then the owner's name.
Okay.
Okay? First we have, this is block 1060, lot 003.
Now, hold on just one second. Block. Please repeat that.
Sure, it's block 1060, lot 003.
Okay.
They not support establishment of the district,
Okay.
and the owner is BFI Waste Services, LLC.
Okay.
Next one is, the address is 260 West Dickman, D-I-C-K-M-A-N Street, block 1055, lot 010.
I should be recording the address and the block and lot?
Yes. The vote is not in support. Owner is BFI Waste Services, LLC. So we may have owners, obviously, that own more than one parcel.
Correct. So they're getting a vote for each piece
Right.
of property they
Yes.
own.
Yes,
And BFI is definitely not in support.
right. Next, the address is 301 East Cromwell Street, block 1053, lot 012. The vote is for the establishment of the district. Owner is Sagamore Whiskey Properties, LLC.
Okay.
Next, we don't have the full address, but we have the block and lot. Block is 1060, lot 002. The vote is not in favor of the district. The owner is BFI Waste Services, LLC. All right, we have, this whole stack is
Oh.
individual votes. Okay, next, we have block 1053, lot 001D. The vote is in support of the district, and the owner is 300 East Cromwell Street, LLC.
I'm going to confirm the vote by, they're either yeses or nos, so that was a yes.
Yes, that's a yes. Next vote is for block 1053, lot 020. Vote is yes. Property owner is PC, so letter P, letter C, dash E7. PC-E7 LLC.
And that was a yes.
Yes. The next vote is 151 West McComas Street, MCCOMAS Street, Block 1050, Lot 007. Vote is yes. Owner is McComas Street 151, McComas Street 151, LLC.
That was a yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The next vote is for 201 McComas Street. Block 1050, Lot 009. Vote is yes. The owner is West McComas Street Homes, LLC. West McComas Street Homes, LLC.
That was a yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Next vote is for 203 McComas Street. Block 1050, Lot 010. Vote is yes. The owner is West McComas Street Homes, LLC. The next vote is for 205 McComas Street. Block 1050, Lot 011. Vote is yes. The owner is West McComas Street Homes, LLC. Next vote is for 207 McComas Street. Block 1050, Lot 012. Vote is yes. Owner is West McComas Street Homes, LLC. Next vote is for 209 McComas Street. Block 1050, Lot 013. Vote is yes. Owner is West McComas Street Homes, LLC. The next vote is for 211 McComas Street.
Am I sensing a pattern?
Yes. Moving down the street.
I didn't want to be too eager to sense that pattern, but.
Block 1050, Lot 014. The vote is yes. Owner is West McComas Street Homes, LLC. Next one is 213 McComas Street. Block 1050, Lot 015. Vote is yes. Owner is West McComas Street Homes, LLC. Okay. Next one is 2101 Race Street, R-A-C-E Street, Block 1050, Lot 016. Vote is yes. Owner is McComas Street 151, McComas Street 151, LLC.
Okay.
Next one is 300 East Cromwell Street, Block 1053, Lot 001. Vote is yes. And the owner is 300 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next vote is for 200 East Cromwell Street, Block 1053, Lot 001A. Vote is yes. Owner is 300 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Okay,
They're auto-populating now, so
figured,
it's
yeah.
going a little faster.
The next one is Block 1053, Lot 001E, letter E. Vote is yes. Owner is 300 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next one is 2400 Banner Street, 2400 Banner Street, B-A-N-N-E-R, Block 1053, Lot 001F. Vote is yes. Owner is 300 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Okay. Next one is 2400 Anthem Street, 2400 Anthem Street, Block 1053, Lot 001G, E5A. Vote is yes. Owner is PC-E5A LLC.
E5A LLC.
Yes. Letter E, number 5, letter A. Yes. Next vote is for 255 Atlas Street, Block 1053, Lot 001H. Vote is yes. And the owner is PC-E6, PC-E6 LLC. Next vote is for 400 Atlas Street, Block 1053, Lot 001J. Vote is yes. Owner is 300 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next vote is for 300 Atlas Street, Block 1053, Lot 001K. Vote is yes. And the owner is 300 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next one is Block 1053, Lot 001L, Unit 1. Lot 001L, Unit 1. Vote is yes. Owner is PC-E1, PC-E1 LLC. Next vote is for Block 1053, Lot 001M. Vote is yes. Owner is 300 East Cromwell Street, LLC. The next vote is for 2105 Gould Street, G-O-U-L-D Street, 2105 Gould Street, Block 1053, Lot 004. Vote is yes. Owner is 2105 Gould Street, LLC. Next parcel is ES Hanover Street, ES Hanover Street, Block 1053, Lot 009A. Vote is yes. Owner is 300 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next vote is for 2601 Port Covington Drive, Block 1053, Lot 010K, 010K. Vote is yes. Owner is interim dash
Interim?
interim, interim dash E10A.
Okay.
LLC. Next vote is for 2501 Tidewater Street, Block 1053, Lot 011A. Vote is yes. Owner is 321 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next ballot is for Block 1053, Lot 011B. Vote is yes. Owner is 321 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next ballot is 2400 Tidewater Street, Block 1053, Lot 011C. Vote is yes. Owner is 321 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next ballot is for Block 1053, Lot 011D. Vote is yes. Owner is 321 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next ballot is for 13 Rye Street, R-Y-E Street, Block 1053, Lot 012A. Vote is yes. Owner is 301 East Cromwell Street, LLC.
301.
Yes.
Okay.
Next ballot is for 301 East Cromwell Street. Block 1053, Lot 012C. Vote is yes. Owner is 301 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next ballot is for Block 1053, Lot 21. Vote is yes. Owner is 321 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next ballot is for 301 East Cromwell Street, Block 1053, Lot 12D. Vote is yes. Owner is 301 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next one is for 250 West Dickman Street, Dickman Street, Block 1055, Lot 001. Vote is yes. Owner is 120-250 West Dickman Street, LLC. Next ballot is for 150 West Dickman Street, Block 1058, Lot 001. Vote is yes. The owner is 120-250 West Dickman Street, LLC.
I'm
Next
sorry,
one-
I was
sure.
zoning out.
Next
We're
one-
on the 50th transaction, or vote, if anyone's counting.
Next one is, the ballot is for 120 West Dickman Street. Block 1058, Lot 005A. Vote is yes. Owner is 120-250 West Dickman Street, LLC. Next ballot is for 2400 Clarkson Street, Clarkson Street, Block 1060, Lot 001A. Vote is yes. Owner is 2400 Clarkson Street, LLC. Next ballot is for 2300 South Hanover Street, Block 1060, Lot 004. Vote is yes. Owner is 2300 Hanover Street, LLC. Next ballot is for 2600 Insulator Drive, Insulator, Insulator Drive, Block 1078.
78.
Yes, 1078.
Mhm.
Lot 002. Vote is yes. Owner is 2600 Insulator Drive, LLC. Next ballot is for 301 East Cromwell Street, Block 1053, Lot 012E. Vote is yes. Owner is Interim, INTERIM dash E10, letter E number 10, Interim E10, LLC. Next ballot is for 301 East Cromwell Street, Block 1053, Lot 012F. Vote is yes. Owner is Interim E10, LLC. Next ballot is for 200 West McComas Street, Block 1040, Lot 001. Vote is yes. Owner is 200 West McComas Street, LLC. Next ballot is for 301 East Cromwell Street, Block 1053, Lot 012B. Vote is yes. Owner is 301 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next ballot is for Block 1058, Lot 005B. Vote is yes. Owner is 120-250 West Dickman Street, LLC. Next ballot is for Block 1058, Lot 005C. Vote is yes. Owner is 120-250 West Dickman Street, LLC. Next ballot is for 101 West Dickman Street, Block 1060, Lot 001. Vote is yes. Owner is Dickman Property Investments, LLC. Dickman Property Investments, LLC. Next ballot is for 101 West Cromwell Street, Block 1060, Lot 006. Vote is yes. Owner is 101 West Cromwell Street, LLC. Next ballot is for 100 East Cromwell Street, 100 East Cromwell Street, Block 1053, Lot 001B. Vote is yes. Owner Owner is 300 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Next ballot is for 301 East Cromwell Street, Block 1053, Lot 012G. Vote is yes. Owner is Interim-E10A LLC. Interim E10A LLC. Next ballot is for 301 Atlas Street, Block 1053, Lot 001I. 001I. Vote is yes. Owner is PC-E7. PCE7 LLC. Next ballot is for Block 1053, Lot 019. Vote is yes. Owner is PCE7 LLC. Next ballot is for 255 East Cromwell Street, Block 1053, Lot 022. Vote is yes. Owner is 301 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Last one in this package is Block 1053, Lot 001C. Vote is yes. Owner is 300 East Cromwell Street, LLC. Have one more envelope.
Are you sure?
Yes. Okay. This does not have an address on it. It's from Verizon Maryland LLC. There's no address on it, and the ballot is not marked.
Okay, I think that needs to be referred to law.
Yeah, so it's returned.
So I will not list that one on the,
Right.
on the sheet. I'm not gonna list that one, Sherelle.
That's the last ballot form we have.
Okay, that was 67 ballots that all had the correct information. Okay. Well, that was exciting. Folks, that concludes the opening of votes for Port Covington Business Improvement District election. Again, oh, we didn't receive 60-something. Sorry, that's Excel counting in the columns, but quite a few votes were received. We will have these also posted as part of our bid sheets that we typically post by close of business, same day that we open them. Any items that we reference that are being referred to law, you will not see posted on the website. Those will not be posted until a determination is made by the law department and/or the responsible agency. And our next bid opening is scheduled for December 14th, 2022. We will see you then at 12 noon. Thanks, everyone. Thank you to our live audience.
Thank you.